Welcome to Hitman Boxing. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. So it looks like we're getting closer and closer to the WBC ordering a fight between Showtime Shawn Porter and Danny Garcia. If you recall, there was talk about this, a month ago maybe? And now some things have changed. Clearly right now, Shawn Porter is going to be fighting on the Mayweather-McGregor undercard on August 26th. He's going to be fighting Thomas Delorme, in a stay busy fight, kind of. And, of course, Danny Garcia right now is without an opponent. Or at least, I'm hearing, Collazo wants to fight him. I'm not sure how close they are to potentially making that fight, but it's just another fight that could potentially happen. Now, Mauricio Sulaiman has stated that they're very close to getting everything in order to, order this fight between Shawn Porter and Danny Garcia, as it will be a title eliminator for Keith Thurman's WBC championship. Now, obviously, the wild card here is Keith Thurman because he's out with a elbow injury, which is going to put him out for 6 to forever months. So Keith Thurman's probably going to be back. If we're being honest, he'll probably be back at some time in 2018, right? So yeah, everybody's calling out Keith Thurman, man. Keith Thurman is he's like the top dog at welterweight. But here's the issue with Danny Garcia and Shawn Porter. Shawn Porter is coming off a win against Andre Berto. Danny Garcia hasn't fought since he lost to Keith Thurman. So, I don't think Danny Garcia will want to get into a fight with Shawn Porter right after taking a loss to Keith Thurman. So he needs to get a fight to get his confidence back up. Now, Luis Collazo, a lot of people will say that's a cherry pick. And I don't really agree that that's a cherry pick because, how old is he? 35, 36? We saw what he did to Keith Thurman. Styles really make fights, dude. And I think stylistically, that's a tough fight for Danny Garcia. Depending upon where, Luis Collazo's legs are, because first and foremost, he's gonna try to outbox Danny Garcia. He's gonna move around the ring a lot. He's gonna force Danny Garcia to come to him. He's not going to initiate that contact. I think he would box him similar to how Lamont Peterson boxed Danny Garcia in the second half of the fight, right? So I don't know. I don't know what neither of these guys are gonna do, man. Shawn Porter is a tough opponent for anybody in the welterweight division. And, that'd be a tough matchup. Well, maybe not a tough matchup for Danny Garcia. It's almost like Shawn Porter's tailor-made for Danny Garcia because he's going to come forward and he's going to get that left hook in the face. Just like when he got knocked down by Adrian Broner. We've seen Shawn Porter get hurt. Go back to watch that Keith Thurman fight. He got hurt in that fight. He got hurt in the Kell Brook fight. He's got hurt in all his big fights. Keith Thurman as well. He gets hurt. But I don't know what Keith Thurman's going to do, man. Everybody and their mama calling this dude out. And there's only one Keith Thurman. He fights one time a year. And he doesn't get knockouts no more. You know what? This ain't a diss video. Let me stop. Okay? Keith Thurman is a unified champion at welterweight. Most people will say that Keith Thurman is the top welterweight in the division at this moment. You guys happy now? I said something nice about Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman just got married, so congratulations to him on that. Congrats on him finding a mail order bride, or I'm sure he met her on India's back pages or something like that. Let me stop. That's not cool. I'm not even gonna tell y'all the story about when I met Keith Thurman again. I'll tell it too much. It's funny though to me, man. I just think it's hilarious. But Keith Thurman's he's a marketable fighter if as long as he fights more than once or fights more than once a year, man. You can't be unified champion fighting once a year, dog. Real talk. If we being honest, you gotta stop faking. Let me stop. I'm gonna save all these hateful comments for the next video I make about Keith Thurman. But all in all, Keith Thurman's a good dude. I can't lie about that. At least he appears to be a good dude. Anyway, Shawn Porter, Danny Garcia. What do you think happens if the WBC orders this fight? Will Danny Garcia accept the fight, or will he try to go and fight Luis Collazo to try and get a comeback fight and a win before he goes in and fights another top-tier opponent in Shawn Porter? I think that's what's going to happen. It makes sense. It makes no sense to to really fight another like tough opponent. Like, you know what? Y'all gonna be mad because I be saying this shit differently when it's other fighters, right? Um, but we can run this little narrative this time. You know what I'm saying? I'm really not too emotionally invested in either of these guys right now, and I'm in a good mood today, so I'm not gonna be hating too hard. But the next video I will. Danny Garcia, get in a little tune-up fight so he can get a W. Then you can fight Shawn Porter. Then when they order that fight, then they can fight. Then by the time, see, it makes sense though. Look, it really makes sense because if both of these guys get interim fights, August 26th, and then I would assume Danny Garcia will fight sometime in September, October, and Danny Garcia looks like he's in pretty decent shape right now, so it makes sense because then they could come 4 or 5 more months down the line and fight in 2018, early 2018, and then Keith Thurman's elbow injury will have been healed by then, right? So then he can't duck either one of these fighters because Keith Thurman likes to. All right, enough of the hating. All right, Keith Thurman is a good young brother doing this thing in the welterweight division. And truth be told, I just want to see Keith Thurman fight or continue to fight, the toughest competition out there. But it's crazy because what was the first fight? He fought Shawn Porter, then he fought Danny Garcia. You would think that when he comes back, he would take a light touch. So if he actually takes a tough opponent coming off a injury, then you got to give him respect. But I still think, what's his name? Lamont Peterson is the wild card in this equation. I really think he's going to come back and defend against Lamont Peterson. This is really what I foresee. When he comes back, or by the time he's ready to come back, the WBC will have sorted out all this stuff with Shawn Porter and Danny Garcia. But I bet you the WBA is going to pull a bitch move and try to have Keith Thurman fight your boy, Lamont Peterson. I bet you that's what's going to happen. Otherwise, they're going to strip his ass. Watch. It's going to be some bullshit. But, Keith Thurman's got opponents lined up from now. He's got opponents for the next 3-4 years if he continues to win. You know what I mean? Think about it. Shawn Porter, Danny Garcia, who else? Even Errol Spence, because, and this is going to be a separate video, but Errol Spence said he's been looking for this dude since 2015, right? He's been wanting to fight him since 15, so everybody's calling him out. Mikey Garcia called him out. Everybody, man. Freddie Roach wants Pacquiao to fight him. I don't know why. I don't know if people thinking he's an easy opponent, someone that they could beat easily, but, this dude if he continues to win, he's going to make a lot of money in the sport of boxing. And there's going to be a lot of salty people out there. But I don't know. You guys let me know who you would favor in a fight between Danny Garcia and Shawn Porter. Like I said, I think Shawn Porter's tailor-made for Danny Garcia. I really do, especially if he gets his timing. And I think his timing will be on point if he fights a Shawn Porter. And like I said, he cuts a left hook, man. Porter's going to go down. I don't see it happening any other way. But, again, Shawn Porter is a tough opponent. And, you saw what he did to Berto. And I'm not saying Berto's on the same level as a Danny Garcia or Keith Thurman, but I just saw something a little different in the Andre Berto fight. He just looked like he was using more dirty tactics because, make no mistake about it, Shawn Porter, I feel, is a dirty fighter. And those headbutts were pretty fierce, man. And apparently Andre Berto had like 4 concussions or something like that. I don't even know, man. Dude, head was swollen, all huge, bigger than normal, but his eye socket looking like an aliens and everything. But I don't know, man. Andre Berto he just lose all the damn time, man. He gotta stop all that losing shit. But Shawn Porter, Danny Garcia, like I said, tell me who y'all got winning that fight. It's a good fight for boxing, man. Hopefully he can get that, Shawn Porter can get that fight with Thomas Delorme out the way and not get hurt. Wait a second. I thought, didn't Shawn Porter have some cuts over his eyes in his last fight? And aren't you required to sit out for a certain amount of time don't you get suspended for a certain amount of time if you have like bad gashes over your eye in a fight? I don't know. I have to go back and look up the rules and regulations and shit, but I thought that was a part of it. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Also, Danny Garcia. Matter of fact, also tell me who you got between Shawn Porter and Thomas Delorme. And if Danny Garcia fights Luis Collazo, tell me how you think that would play out. You know, I think it's a somewhat tough fight for Danny Garcia. I mean, I believe he'd win, but it's a tough fight. But we'll see what happens in the world of boxing. Like I said, drop a comment, like the video, subscribe, and I'm out.